Hey guys, Scott with Attitude Custom Painting here. Today I'm gonna go over some tips for you for both rookies, amateurs, hobbyists, and maybe you pros maybe can learn something, maybe one tip, two tips. So hopefully something will help you out here. So I got everything laid out here. So what I'm gonna do, we'll go one by one, and I'll go over some tips, and hopefully they work out for you. So my first tip, my tape, is anybody that comes in here, I make sure that when they use tape, that don't lay it sideways in dust. Because what happens is the dust collects on the sticky part, and when you're laying the tape out, especially the fine line, the tape or the dust will get into your paint job. So especially on the fine line, because it's right there. And you gotta be careful. So watch where you're laying the tape. So you don't want it laying in dust. You can lay it on a windshield or something like that, but on a bench, make sure you don't lay it in dust. Be very aware of what you're doing. Second tip is a tack rag. A lot of guys I've seen just take the tack rag out, use it just like this. Don't do that. What you gotta do, some of these tack rags are chintzier than others, so what you need to do, of course I'm wearing gloves there, so it makes it a little harder. But what you need to do is take these apart, completely unravel it. This is the first thing you do. Take it apart. But you never thought they were this big. They used to be actually bigger than this, probably twice the size. But you know how things go these days. Everybody's jacking up the price and going less on quality and quantity. So then what you gotta do is just fold it nice and neat. It collects dust better, it works better. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. And this is the best way to do it. Make sure you take it out, unfold it, fold it back out, fold it back up, make sure it's nice and loose, like that. Next tip, paint can. I've seen a lot of guys, when they're mixing their paint, they'll take their strainer, put it in the gun, pour their paint in there. What do they do with the strainer? They put it right back into paint. So what are you doing? You're taking the paint that you're trying to strain here, and you're putting the outer part of the strainer back into the paint. So now all your contaminants or anything in the paint that might get strained is now on the outside. So most of the time I just throw these away. I mean, these are free. Use as many as you want and be safe. Better to be safer than have an issue with having contaminants on the outside of the strainer. Don't put them back in here. So to make sure that's all nice and clean, leave the contaminants on the inside. So that's number 3 there. So number 4, when you get 9 by 11 sheets of paper, first thing you need to do, fold it up, tear it in half, so you got half sheets. Sometimes the sandpaper comes in half sheets, which is good. Actually, I should have folded it the other way so it made a sharper line to tear easier. But what you want to do is tri-fold this. Why do you tri-fold half sheets? So it fits nice and neat in the palm of your hand. So I see a lot of guys turn them sideways, which is not good practice. It's good to use the full extent. Your palm of your hand really cuts down orange peel. It really helps out sanding. So even the half sheets, of course, we order half sheets in 1,000, 15, and 2,000. So tri-fold that. Keep your hand flat when wet sanding, right before buffing. Pretty much anytime you're sanding. So next tip, file board and sanding block. Make sure you don't have a big old bodywork spot and you're trying to block it out with this. The bigger the bodywork spot, the bigger the tool needs to be, the bigger the block. Durablock makes Some good blocks. I personally like file boards on real big spots. Small dings, things like that. They do make a soft block. This works great on motorcycle tanks. This is more firmer, 5586 3M stick-it. You want to make sure that this is on firmer objects. So it's a little bit of flex, but for motorcycle tanks, fenders, want it nice and flexible. Top part of the fenders, something like that. Next thing, so we're trying to zoom through here real quick. Gloves. Make sure you're always wearing gloves when handling raw metal. That's a given. I mean, that's kind of obvious. Once you touch it, the rust process begins. You may not see it. You'll prime it, paint it. 6 months later, your customer comes back with a rust issue. That's why. Contaminants from your hands, the oils. So always make sure you wear gloves. We use the SAS gloves, which we order by the case. They just went up in price due to the COVID-19. But if you're a hobbyist, just buy them at your local auto parts store. Body shops, SAS, these are great gloves. We've been using them for quite some time. Next, about $1 a piece, spray socks. Wear them while you're painting, keeps the overspray off your hair, or lack thereof. And I always have a box of them. So I got a box of them, we take them home, we wash them, and these are great. I always wear one of these anytime I'm spraying, so. And they work good in the winter too, so. Guys, next tip. This is a particle mask. This is not made to keep paint vapors out of your lungs. This is for dust only. So this is a respirator. This is what you use. It has a charcoal filter on it. It's made for organic vapors to keep harmful chemicals out of your lungs. So make sure you're spraying a car, you wear it. This is a 3M respirator. That's what I use. They're disposable. Once they start getting dirty, throw them away, get you another one. 20 bucks. You can't beat that. These have went up in price due to COVID. So get you a box of these. You should always wear this when you're sanding, doing body work, even buffing. You should wear these. I get in the habit of wearing these when I'm buffing. So put your initial on there if you got some employees. That way you don't get them mixed up and end up with issues. This is my Dynabraid. This is tip number 9. So now the Dynabraid, when you order DA sander, dual action sander, they come with different pitches. The stronger the pitch, or the longer the pitch, the more aggressive the pad will be, or the more aggressive the orbit will be. So you need to use that on body work. If you want fine sanding, of course, get the finer orbit. So keep that in mind. A lot of guys don't even know that there's different pitches on these. So we use the long throw, of course, on our body work and regular sanding. And then when we wet sand or machine wet sand, we use the fine pitch. So keep that in mind. So I have like 4 DAs with different pitches. I believe there's 3 different pitches, but I got the maximum pitch and the finer pitch. These are my fine line tapes that I use. So as you know, Attitude Custom Painting, we're known around the country, do flame jobs, graphics, things like that. So personally, I like the 48 410 orange 1/8 inch, 6306 16th inch. And then just for outlining those 2 fine lines, we'd use the 26344. This is 1/4 inch. They also have 1/8 inch, which we use too. But this is what I use for my fine line, the 16th inch. Smaller things, motorcycles, motorcycle tanks, fenders, things like that, 16th inch. Don't try doing a car with this stuff. This will drive you nuts. But for smaller objects, great. You know, smaller graphics and things. Pretty much all motorcycles I use the 16th inch. Bigger things, cars, I use the 1/8 inch. 1/4 inch is too big to make tighter bends. Usually the thicker the tape, the bigger you naturally make an oval. So 1/8 inch is perfect for car, flame jobs, graphics, things like that. So there you have it. This is my segment of doing 10 tips for you guys I hope at least one of these help you guys. So I appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and we'll be putting up videos down the road here. So thanks for watching.